Hey, it's our Paralyzed Math Industry, and we are going to take a look at dimensional analysis that is 2D and 3D related shapes. So, in the past videos this month, we have been learning about how to convert from one kind of measurement to the other kind of measurement. Like we go from feet to yards, yards to meters, meters to centimeters, centimeters to millimeters, and so on. So, we're gonna do that with 2D and 3D versions. So, you see this problem on the bottom? The problem is, how many square yards needed to cover a room that is 14 times 16.5 feet? The thing is, we already know the measurements in feet. However, we have to somehow convert the same exact measurements to square yards. So we're not changing the room, but we're trying to change the kind of dimension or kind of measurement for that dimension. So square yards, you're talking about like a floor, something that kind of looks like this. So I do have problems making a clean room. Anyway, back to the math part. When you say the word square yards, this is what you think of. A square, a 2D shape. And that's what basically it is, visualized. So, we understand to make the area of a square, it has to be, the area is base times height. So 14 times 16.5 is going to be 231 feet squared. We are trying to get them to square yards right over here. So how do we do that? Well, we already know that 1 yard, 1 imperial yard, is going to bring you to 3 imperial feet in the USA system, or the imperial system. Well, that's basically the only conversion we have to do. To get from feet, we have to do feet to yards. So, why can't we just say, put feet on the bottom, because we're trying to cancel out the dimensions and just have numbers, and put yards on the top. Something does look correct, but it's not really correct yet. We did it once. However, don't you notice the number right here? The number 2 right here? That tells you that there is another kind of dimension. We only found one dimension. Now we gotta find the other dimension. So we have to do the entire process again. We have to multiply that by 1 yard and divide by 3 feet. When we get an answer and do the math, 231 times 1 times 1, 231 divided by 3, divided by 3. So basically, the measurements will be able to cancel out and get yard as its own dimension. We get an answer of 225.7 yards squared. So when you have dimensions that you convert from one thing to the other, what you would be able to do if you have an exponent is repeat the same steps as last time. Let's look at the next problem. So what's this? A textbook is 27 centimeters long, 21 centimeters wide, and 44 centimeters thick. What is the volume in inches? So what is the volume in inches? So we already know that the volume of a 3D object is going to be, the volume is the base times the length times the height. So that is a visual of the volume, base times length times height. So going back to the problem, if we do 27 times 21 times 44, we'll be able to get an answer of 2,500 centimeters cubed. So you probably might know what that number 3 is, but going back from the last problem, so to get from centimeters all the way to inches, there is a conversion that we know of. 1 inch is going to be equal to 2.54 centimeters. So that's the only thing we need to do, because to get from centimeters to inches is to use this converter right over here. But hang on, we still have to notice one more thing. Aha! So about the number 3 that we circle, we have to repeat the same step of that converter 3 times. So we have to multiply by 1 inch divided by 2.54 cm. Multiply again by 1 inch divided by 2.54 cm. And we have to multiply again 1 inch and divide by 2 cm. So we have to do that 3 times, because when we found our dimensions, we basically did the first one, the second one, and the third one to make a 3D object, sort of like a cube. So when we do 2,500 centimeters cubed, multiply by 1, multiply by 1, multiply by 1, divide by 2.54, divide by 2.54, divide by 2.54, cancel, 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 and we get an answer of 150 inches cubed. That is the volume of the textbook when it's 27 centimeters long, 21 centimeters wide, and 44 centimeters thick. And that is how you can do dimensional analysis in 2D and 3D forms. Be careful of those exponents. I hope this video has helped you understand dimensional analysis with 2D and 3D shapes. Thank you for watching Tapping in Life's Math Industry. Like and subscribe.